Good morning. Good morning. I was trying to get my hair together this morning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's another wonderful day. So we're going to get started. So I'm going to tell you about my hair in just a second. Actually, what I'm going to do is turn my fan on because I can feel myself getting a little warm. I have this little portable fan, y'all. I use it when I go stepping. Okay. Oh, it feels good. Got my tea. All right, my pies. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, y'all, hey, y'all, hey, y'all, hey, y'all, hey. This is the day that the Lord has made. We can choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Let me I got all my notes here. I actually have a short practical moment today. Y'all went to Pilates this morning and I thought I'd have my hair together. I got my hair done yesterday. I want to save the silk press and I went to hit it with the blow dryer to get my roots. And then I went to take out one of my rollers and look, my hair is still wet. We actually we worked today. So y'all get what you get, okay? And this is one thing that you have to learn about the internet is the internet. Like, people come on now. People, you got to be you. This is actually my second channel. And hello to my new folks. This is not how I normally do things, but this is my second YouTube channel. My first channel is actually called Spark Wisdom. And I started that channel back in 2009. Maybe I'll just go ahead and drop the link in our chat. Hey, Yapa, good morning. This is my second channel on YouTube. So I'm going to tell you, I literally have been online for 15 years. My kids were online. There's a book being written right now about parents that actually kind of, put their kids on the internet, how that impacted their lives. All of my children, well, two of my girls on social media. One is, wow, well, they're both wildly successful on the internet, Instagram and TikTok and all of that. So, yeah, so that's a point of privilege. Let me start back over. And if you are watching the replay, fast forward. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. We can choose to rejoice and be glad in it. I will save the Lord. He's my refuge, my fortress, and my strength. If you were invited to this live stream, you're here with us, you are super special, sis. Somebody loves you. And even if you brought yourself, God loves you. You are one of his favorites. You are adored. You are blessed and highly favored. Okay, you are. Because you could be any place else. I don't know what you're doing. You might be getting the kids ready. You might be getting ready for work. You might be on your way to work. You might be in the bathroom. You might be in the shower. But you're here. And I appreciate that. This is a safe space for women that want to do the work. It is a safe space for women that desire relationships. It is a safe space for women that are in relationships and dating. And it's a safe space for women that want to attract the love they desire and deserve. The only folks that are not welcome here are women that hate men, that don't like, oh, I don't need a man. Well, sis, this is not the place or space for you because we desire men, we love men, we honor them, we respect them, and we understand that there are difficulties when dealing with them. My one girlfriend calls it crazy tendencies. My husband is crazy for real. And I'll tell you that being in a third marriage, first marriage is 50% end in divorce, second marriage is 67% end in divorce, third marriage is 73% end in divorce, and less than 5% of people do it. So as you go along, you're just like, dang, why is marriage so hard? And the epiphany came recently. It's hard because every day it's work. Literally, you are on all the time, and not on by the physical, the way you look. It's on by loving, nurturing, serving, being kind, being nice, not, voicing your frustrations, not showing your frustrations all the time, being emotionally mature, adding humor, praying before you saying, like, it's not easy to do. And once you understand that every day it's work, literally, I think it makes it a lot more easier, right? Because now instead of saying, oh my God, marriage is work, you're saying, every day I'm on, every day I'm intentional. There are days when I'm frustrated, confused, exhausted. My husband, pause. I have to pause because I live with this person every day. I see this person every day. I'm supposed to check in with this person when I go places. I'm supposed to make them my priority. And then I have to worry about their feelings as along with everything else in the world. That's what makes it difficult. So we are here because we want to do the work. And we go through our power that comes from the word. If you watch these, I show a lot of books all the time. And I want to talk about why I show those books and that power that comes from that. So we do a quick meditation, that agenda, battlefield of the mind. Where are my glasses? Oh, that's okay. And she's talking about here, hearing and harvesting. And he said unto them, be careful what you're hearing. The measure thought and study you give to the truth you hear will be the measure of virtue and knowledge that comes back to you, and more will be given to you who hear. I do encourage you to be mindful of what you're listening to. She talks about here meditating and prosper. Meditate and prosper. Rumination is something that we often would do in our marriages. Your husband's done something, it hurts your feelings, you go back to it, you bring it back forward, and I'll say, listen, I created this support group because I needed it too. My husband and I are in a third marriage. I'm his third wife, he's my third husband. And my husband uses he talks in first person all the time. I, my backyard, my house, my this, my that. And for a long time, in a couple of years, I just was like, oh my God. And I had to point it out to him. He's like, baby, you live here. I'm married to you. You have my last name. Like, this is ours. It's just a way of speech that he has. And it has not changed in years. He just literally still refers to everything as his. And sometimes it irritates me. And now I'm just like, okay, this is funny. This is who he is. And it just is what it is. And it really is just something I have had to find humorous. Is it? And sometimes you have to think like, okay, yeah, I am here. This is ours. And it's just not. Some things you have to just push by the wayside and say, I'm not going to bring that up again. It just is what it is. And sometimes we have to do that. So that's that meditate and prosper. She says the Lord is telling us plainly we will never put the word into practice physically if we don't practice it mentally. And again, I bring that back to the sources of the word because I honor all religions here and your faith here is honored. But what words are you putting into your mind and what are you putting into practice physically? I'm around a lot of people that say a lot of things, but I'll tell you this, I told someone yesterday and I was told this probably about my son's 20, so about almost 20 years ago. My life has been wildly successful, wildly unbelievable. And that's like more of my adult years. And I think it's because I had such a tumultuous childhood. And I've had my fair share of challenges in my adulthood too. But things just kept happening over and over and over for me in a fantastical way in my 20s. And I remember asking one of the elders at church, I was like, things just keep happening to me and for me, and God has just been so faithful. And he said, our private lives are on public display. Your private life, your private prayer life, your private physical life, your private self care life, your private self maintenance life, your private, even though you might say, well, my marriage is a mess and people wouldn't understand, they see it. We see it. People see it. Let me say, observations are real. I don't care how great you think something's going on. We know each other by the spirit. I can spiritually tell how things are going with people. And I'm telling you, don't think that people don't understand. And it's not their business, but people are praying for you because they love you and they care. So, again, your private life, that's why I'm saying with these words, be healed. You got to hear and harvest. We're going to talk about a really specific parable from the Bible. I love parables. I love the book I'm reading right now. I can't release it just yet, but it's written in parables. It is phenomenal. Okay. But the law of sowing and reaping, the more we sow, the more we reap at harvest time. So you all know, if you don't know, I'm a business owner. I own my business now full time, 10 years. And I used to say, I wanted to plant seeds and I wanted to grow an orchard. And I did. I grew a pretty decent sized company and, had employees, six-figure payroll, and just, we did really well. And I'm on another season in life where, I'm not as worried about growing and scaling as much as I'm helping. Like today, I actually have a class to teach at an entrepreneurship center. Let's see. Let me get into my Kindle. So I wanted to read to you from Luke chapter 8. And again, I read from all types of books, but I look at the Bible as another book. And this is a parable that I think is really, really important for us to understand. And it's the reason why I take copious notes. I take notes even every day while I'm getting ready to talk to you. I take notes when I'm at church. I have piles and piles and piles of filled notebooks. I had more from journals, but I had an ex that, people get real weird. Like, you got all the stuff written in your journals and past, but I shouldn't have thrown them away. But this Luke 8 to me is very important because it's a parable about a farmer. A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path. It was trampled on, and the birds, they ate it up. Some fell on rocky ground, and when it came up, the plants withered because they had no moisture. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and it choked the plants. Still, other seed fell on good soil. It came up, it yielded a crop 100 times more than was sown. When he said this, he called out, whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. And his disciples asked him what the parable meant. He said, "The knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of God have been given to you, but to others I speak in parables. Though seeing they may not see, though hearing they may not understand." And I always think about that with the word, with words that I hear, with books that I read. I will not read a book one time, especially if I'm like, "Oh, this is good." I will read it. I will go back. I'll highlight. I'll read all my highlights. I'll go back. I'll listen to the Audible because I'm like, I really, really want to understand this. And there are books literally that I have on my shelf. Sometimes I just pull out, I might read a chapter and I might put it back. I've read it before. So understand this, that the enemy is always coming after you to steal what seed has been sown in your life. That's why I go to church and I look at people like, if you don't see this as a school and you're not taking notes, what are you doing here? You just want to feel good. You want to come in, you want to walk out, and I get it. But you can't remember what you ate yesterday. Sometimes, even with this, go back and look at the titles. Now that's why I'm titling them, because you might not need what is here today because you're not in the valley. You're coming up out the valley. You're headed down in the valley. But you might need to understand why is marriage hard. You might need to understand the practical side of being fit. You might need to understand just be nice. You might need to understand pray and say sis. So sometimes we have to revisit it as often as is necessary with no shame. We are not going to get this right in this world all the time, but your private life, believe me, we see it. I remember I went to see Tony Robbins and he had us getting up, and Tony Robbins is wild in person, y'all. Wow. And we're all standing up and he's there, you were clapping, and they get you like a half a day before you even see Tony. And you do the walk of fire and stuff. That was so cool. He comes out and he's like, we're all standing up. He's like, look to your left, look to your right. And Tony cusses like crazy, like the F bombs, you're like, but he says it shocks your system. He was like, yeah, you can tell how much they care about themselves by looking at their body. And I was like, oh my God. He had a full day seminar on health. Okay, literally. So that's what I'm saying. Your private, not to shame anybody, but your private life is on public display. We know what you're doing. We know how you're taking care of yourself. You know from people's speech if it's the same language. I tell people all the time, y'all should be reading these books and getting this information. I talk unicorns and rainbows, but some people just they just are doing nothing to further themselves in the realm of marriage. So if I talk to somebody, your marriage is going whacking crazy. What book have you read? What are you doing to further yourself? Now, this is getting to a point in life where it's really important for all of us. Because I know the stuff that I go through, I can only imagine some of the things that the enemy is attacking you with because you're showing up here. He comes to steal what is planted. Okay, so with that said, we have power. We pray before we say, we meditate, think upon, ponder, listen to. And your purpose in marriage is to make you the best version of yourself and him too. But here with our practical side, I just put ignore him. That's going to be our practical title today. And there are strategies to get through fall and winter in your marriage. I talk a lot about this book, The Four Seasons. Okay, where's my book in my library? Here it is. The Four Seasons of Marriage. Okay, there are 4 seasons of marriage. I need to screenshot that. Okay, screenshot. Okay, in the 4 seasons of marriage, you have winter, spring, summer, fall. Now, the nature of marriage, he talks about in here. He talks about the marital seasons and the profiles. They are important to understand because marriage relationships constantly change. As we've seen, they go through identifiable seasons that may occur numerous times throughout the marriage. So you're not going to always be in summer. I strive for an eternal summer, but you're not going to always be in summer or fall or winter or spring. Okay, but you strive for spring and summer. Every couple experiences a succession of winters, summers, springs, and falls. The value of identifying the present season of your marriage is that it will help you become conscious of the present quality of your marriage and aware of the attitudes, emotions, and actions that characterize your relationship. And he gives you a whole test. That's why I love these books on helping you identify which season of marriage you're in. And then guess what? Interpreting the score, and you get something for your spouse, and then 7 strategies to enhance the season. So when I say the practical side, ignore him, there are certain things that he gives you here with strategies, dealing with past failures. There are certain things when I say pray and say emotionally mature, ignore. There are sometimes my husband can text some things, but sometimes they're wild. And I've gotten to the point now I don't respond and I delete them. I don't read them. I'm not going to read hurtful things intentionally. And again, our spouses aren't out to hurt us, but there are things that sometimes we say that are hurtful. Okay. Sometimes that's how people, they might write letters and do things. So when I say ignore, I wanted to give you some clear strategies. And I want you to think of some strategies that you write down in your journal. to ignore him. Me, I love to play music. I like candles. Even if I'm texting back, I ignore it and I just consistently go throughout my day. Okay. All right. I am a stickler for my self care and my self maintenance. That's why you all hear me talk about these things. That's why I have your therapists and your marital counselors. Write them down. When you need to ignore him, what are the things? And when you're ignoring him, you're not ignoring him and crying and ruminating. You're turning your music. Do you need to dance? Do you need to go to a class? You need to go to yoga. You need to go to cycle. Just go to the gym and take the class with the older people to make you feel good. But I want you to start thinking about your own strategies. We go to these books, but the books are for us to now form our own ideas, which is why I'm saying I'm not going to give you the book I'm reading yet because I'm like, wow, I read it, but it's kind of like, okay, it's good, but I'm like, how do we apply it to today and right now? Okay. So that's it. You need to build your strategy list because your private life is on public display. And if it's, and also this, you're doing the work, but if he's not doing the work, you actually it's a challenge. My counselor told me this once. He said, when you're doing the work and others aren't doing the work, you kind of it's like sandpaper. You kind of rub them the wrong way. I'm out here telling people, there's a lady was by me in Pilates today and she complained and I just ignored her. Like, listen, I'm here to work out. It's hard for all of us, whether you big, you small, you tall, it does. Pilates is hard for everybody. We used a slider today, y'all. We held the bar and it's a slider on the floor for 30 minutes on each side and fast and slow, then long. And then we were on planks. Like the stuff was hard. Okay. But if you enter complaining, it makes it more difficult for others. So I have to be mindful of that. So I ignored her. So put your strategies down and understand that life is difficult for all of us because we're living in it. But what are the things that you can do to make sure that you're successful and thriving in it? Okay. Last thing is you need your hobbies. Your hobbies make you happy. I love my Chicago step. And I call Chicago stepping so y'all know here. So I'm saying I'm dancing and y'all think, I'm dancing on the pole. But if I was, so what? No judgment. Um, I have a whole list. Where's one of my other journals is here. And I just keep it here so y'all can see. Write out things. What are the things that make me happy? Traveling. I'm going to India next month. My self-care. My grandbaby will be here to visit this month. Church, friends. I have a lot of friends. I stayed there today at Pilates. One of the ladies, her sister normally stays, but she left. So I said, oh, girl, I ain't going to let you stay by yourself. So I talked to her. Painting, family, books. I love books. Teaching. I get to teach today. I'm teaching for hours, but I love it. Okay. Senior activities make me happy. I'm a member at the Senior Activity Center. Business makes me happy. Community. I was at a community event yesterday with my senator, House representatives, people. Like if you're not following me on LinkedIn, you need to follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I post everything. So write the things that make you happy. Okay. The things that make you happy. Self-care, I got my hair done. Self-maintenance is important. And for those of you with your hair, you want to be big, big hair or big body. You got to pick one or cut it all off. But I like my hair, I'm growing it out. But you know, it is what it is. My hair lasts a few days and I'm good with that. But I need that. I love when she massages my head. I love going to get my massages. We need that touch. And it makes I go to my chiropractor. Like I do a lot for my body. I go to the sauna and just sit in there naked. You need to be doing things that serve you. You could just take a bubble bath and light your candles, sis, and that could be your self-care for yourself. Okay. Need your sister circle, unicorns and rainbows. I have a lot of friends. I send text messages. I might send a photo of me working out. I try to check it in, but I'm crazy busy. So a lot of times, even with business, I'm mindful that, hey, I'd love to check in, but here's when I'm available. I'm in conferences until about 11 p.m. the rest of the week. Saturday, I'm going to a luncheon, meet my state representative because I'm running for public office. So they're shifting. So understand you need a tight sister circle. And when you're with your sister circles, I don't talk business to my sister circles. If I'm talking business, it's business people outside of business. Most people don't even know what I do. Y'all probably even know what I do because you probably haven't Googled me. But if you Google me, you'll know what I do. But I don't want to talk about what I do. People pay me a lot of money to talk about what I do. So I just want to talk unicorns and rainbows. Girl, where you get your hair done? Oh, what are you doing? My people love talking to me about my skin. I've been getting, I drink a lot of teas. Right now I'm drinking a wellness tea. Talk about things outside of trauma bonding. Okay. And let's put on our armor. Kai, that's for you. Ephesians 6:11, y'all. This is a real world. You're going to deal with some real things, but no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Why? Because the joy of the Lord is your strength. Okay, you got this. I got to run today. I'm looking in the chat real quick. but I have to run. I have to get into another meeting, and I got to be downtown Atlanta by 10 a.m. Yeah, Pa, thank you. NW, thank you. We didn't have a lot of people. Hey, Cena, good morning. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. No energy vampires. Yeah, they come to steal, kill, and destroy. And you have to listen. Radical acceptance, humor, self-confidence, and emotional maturity. You got this, sis. I promise you do. Okay. Have an amazing rest of the day. Hey, Claudelia, I'm getting ready to hop off, but I'll be back tomorrow. And y'all, listen, my hair, like I said, I'm trying to save the silk press. I got to go get dressed and head downtown, so I had to be cute. I got to save the silk press. All right, y'all have an amazing rest of the day. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Your pod, check out my LinkedIn probably later or tomorrow. You'll see everything that I'm doing. Bye, y'all.